It is Monday. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. We certainly did. We want to kind of go back. I haven't done any really kind of coffee and questions in quite a while. Vicky happened to bring it up to me the other day. So, you know what? We're going to kind of go back to our format that we used to have quite a bit on answering questions. So I got a couple questions I want to go over here and then a couple of success stories. So first question I had is in carving that Western Red Cedar, when you guys saw me do that the other day, you saw that that it kind of, although this is the cedar fencing, see how that stuff kind of cakes up on there? Well, what I found is that some boards or some woods will do that. It doesn't necessarily always just Western Red Cedar. It might be just the fencing cedar. Most of the time it doesn't do this, but when I was carving, and you guys saw this on Saturday where I showed the new layout templates, when I'm carving that particular board, it tended to get kind of caught up on the board like that. So people have asked me, when you get that, do you set up a vacuum on it? How can you solve that issue? Well, frankly, yes, you could hook up a vacuum to it. I'm not a fan of anything hooked up to my router that would restrict it. But here's the way I've solved that problem. I wipe it off. Literally. I just take my hand and I wipe across it. It takes about a second and a half and I go right back to carving. So, so what happens is, some boards, and it's not necessarily always going to be just one type of board. Every board is different. So even with the white cedar, the cedar fencing, you might have a board that does that. You might have a board that's not. Now, I think that the aromatic cedar, like I carved a week or so ago, I think that has a tendency to do it more. But still, you could go through all of trying to solve that problem. Just wipe it off. Just take your hand, wipe it off, and go back to carving. That's what I found works for me. If you guys come up with a better solution, hey, let me know. But I think any other solution is going to be more hassle than it's worth. Okay, so that was the first question. Second question from Wayne. He said, I watch your videos and using the primer versus the Marsh ink on the spray for the layout. But what do you use? Do you use the primer or do you use the Marsh ink for the final spraying the carving? And fact is, I use both. So whether you're using the ink, the Marsh ink, or you're using the primer, they're interchangeable to me. So I'll use this for the layout and spraying the carving, or I'll use this for the layout and spraying the carving. And if you guys have been watching for any length of time, you know that I use them both. So this is a little more expensive, but this comes out faster. So you got to be careful with the overspray with this one, but even with the ink a little bit. And then the other version of the primer that I found, this is actually the first time I saw this, is my sister was using. Now you can see they're both Rust-Oleum and they're both primer. So either one of them works just fine. It's just a different label. So I don't know exactly why. This is the 2x Ultra Cover, but they both work the same. So any of these I use for either the spraying or the spraying of the carving. All right, next, success stories. So I haven't done any success stories for a while, so I wanted to throw this in there. Gary Zellner, been watching us for years. He puts his stuff in a consignment store, and he may have more than one consignment store, but I know for sure he's got this one, and he made this rack. And this is kind of reminiscent to me of the old video stores. Remember when we used to go to Blockbuster Video? These are kind of racks that they had the videos on, which if you can find those, but this is a cool way to display his signs and make them interchangeable, movable, and add a lot.
You don't have to drill them.
Don't have to hang them or nothing, which I thought was really a cool idea. So, and in conjunction with that, he also made some signs for inside the consignment store. Many of the vendors actually ordered signs from him. So he just took an old piece of construction material and made some signs for the people that actually have stores in there or have their products in there. So anyway, I've been wanting to show that for a while. Gary sent that to me a while back, but he sold several of those signs to the other consignment guys. All right, so one more success story. This is from Don Schwab. And this one, I'm just going to read through it. It's a little bit long, but I'll go through it pretty fast. So he said, this may not necessarily be a success story, but for everybody, but I want to share my experience. I live in a small community of 4,200, about an hour and a half from Calgary, and I have been carving signs for about 3 years now. It's a hobby for me, therefore I prefer to do it on my own with no time deadlines. The economy here is a mix of grain and growing and ranching. There are 2 Western wear outlets in my town. About 2 years ago, I decided to carve cedar boards with a Western theme. I've attached a couple photos, and I'll show those in a second. Both Western outlets are now selling them on occasion for me, and I periodically drop by to restock their inventory. Last September, I was getting a little concerned about the size of my inventory, and I had heard about a very large Western outlet store about an hour north of Calgary. Upon contacting the manager, I arranged for a meeting with her. I loaded up all my inventory, and my wife and I hit the road. Upon meeting with the store manager, she informed me they do not sell on consignment. However, she would be interested in purchasing some of my signs. I'm trying to read way too fast. As she was looking through the signs, she asked if I would drop my price per sign based on a bulk purchase. I consented. However, I did not expect her to say, we'll buy all 94 of them. I left 10 minutes later with a rather large check in hand. Needless to say, I was encouraged to carry on with making more of these signs, and they have branched into golfing signs, wine drinking signs, and senior moment signs. I have 2 more established outlets selling them on consignment. Sorry guys, I'm not a real good reader. I readily admit that most of my success is a result of watching you guys. Anyway, I meant to skip that. But here, check out some of these signs. They're so cool. I'm hoping you can get in close enough. So these are all stock signs, guys. And I'm sure that he wouldn't have a problem if you want to steal some of his ideas here. But it just goes to show that, he drove quite a ways on the chance that he might sell some signs, but he sold them all. So I'm not sure what the prices are, but whatever they are, evidently this gal liked them. But I think that's a tremendous success story. So just get out there. If you're making a good product, get out there and show it to people. And, talk to people and get out there and sell them because people will buy them. So that is about it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have questions you want to ask or ask me, definitely send me an email, eric@makeawoodsign.com, and I may put them on Coffee and Questions. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. Please share it with other woodworkers. And again, guys, get out there and just show people your stuff. They'll sell. I guarantee it. If you make a good product, it sells itself. So remember, I'm on Make a Wood Sign. I'm on Instagram, Make a Wood Sign. I already said like and subscribe. I'm on Facebook. I guess that's about it. Thanks, guys. Why are you laughing? Am I mumbling and stumbling? I haven't done this for a while. I'm normally doing demos and stuff. So anyway, don't laugh at me, guys. I'm pounded on the table. That was just for her because she's laughing at me. So see you next time, guys. Bye.